Alright, so in this video we're going to go over the 3 basic types of blending. But before we start getting into that, one thing I want to recommend for you as you're going through and making samples and playing around with different tips and tricks and whatnot, I would suggest you create yourself a book like this. So this is just a little photo album. I use my Copic paper and I cut it into quarters, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and they slip in there really easy. Anytime I'm trying out a different technique, I'll make a little sample and then I'll just put some notes in here. So it's a great thing to go back and, you know, if you're thinking of wanting to try something a little bit different that you haven't tried or trying to remember what you've learned, a sample book is great because then you can also put the colors that you used, so you don't have to actually try to remember any of this stuff. I know myself, I am horrible with my memory, so I appreciate having a sample book that we can go back and reference when we're trying to remember how to do a different technique and whatnot. So I'm going to put this aside. So the most basic type of blending is with 2 colors from the same family. And the general rule when starting to learn how to blend is to choose 2 colors that are 2 to 3 numbers apart. So I've got E33 and E35. And what you're going to do, and to start off with, I always do a circle. You're going to color the light color in a circle. Then you're going to go in and put where you want the shading, where the darker color is going to be. And these colors are quite similar, so they're going to be really easy to blend. Once you've got the shading in there where the dark color is, you're going to go over the 2 with little circles, and then you're going to go over the whole thing again. Now, that dark doesn't pop as much as I would like it to, so I can go back in and I can add some more of the dark. When the colors are very similar, you'll find that they kind of tend to blend on their own as they're drying, but if need be, I can go back and I can use my lighter color and go back over that again to blend it some more. Now, like I said, to start off with, best to choose markers that are 2 to 3 numbers apart. As you get used to it, as you get to know your markers, you can go against that rule. These are 2 of my favorites to blend, G21 and G99. They're quite a bit different, so it does take a little bit of work to get them to blend and not have a line between the dark and the light. But best to go with the rule first. As you become familiar with it, as you become familiar with your pens and their colors, then you can change and you can go against that rule. The other way to blend is tip to tip. So I've got 2 opposite colors here, or different colors, and I'm going to take and put some of the purple onto my blue tip, and then I'm going to blend. Now the only thing with this is I don't really have control over when that purple ends and when it's just the blue. So, and even as I turn my marker, I still have a little bit of purple on there. So it is a way to blend, but you don't have as much control as it would be nice. The other thing is you want to make sure before you put your markers away that you go and scribble onto some scrap piece of paper that I know that I don't have any purple sitting on this marker, because I wouldn't want to go and work on a project and all of a sudden have purple in with my blue here. The other way we can blend is by feathering. And I was going to use this, but I see that my marker is a little bit on the dry side, so I'm going to choose a different color. So I'm going to go this way with my purple. Let's choose yellow because it's an opposite color. I'm going to go this way with my yellow. And you're just going to go back and forth. And as you go over it more and more, those colors are going to blend a little bit easier with each other. Now the place that I like to use that particular technique is when coloring butterflies. So let's take it right to a butterfly wing. So this is one of my JPEGs that I printed onto the cardstock that I like to use with my Copics. I will put on the supply list the website that I go to get some of these. They are images with Creative Commons license, which means that you can use them however you wish. If you get images elsewhere, you want to make sure that you know what is okay. It's okay to use them for. You don't want to use anything for commercial use that is not allowed. So definitely look into that. So I've got my purple and my yellow there. Let's try it with 2 other colors here. Let's do some green and some pink. And if I were to put this in my binder, I would just write down exactly what colors that I used for that, because it's always nice to go back and know exactly what shade that was, especially if you're working on a project or thinking of a project and you really like those 2 colors together. I always have to double look at my markers to make sure that I'm using the right side, the brush tip. Which is why I was putting them just down, so that I would stop doing that. But and I see that I've gone outside of the lines there just because I'm blending super quick. If this was a card project, I'd go and fix that with my blender pen. If this was a card project, I'd probably be a little bit more careful and try not to have that situation in the first place. But there you go, we've got a couple different opposite colors there blended. So those are the basic ways to do some blending. There are some other different techniques that we will go into. In the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to go and blend with 3 colors. And I will show you what to do with that.